times of isolation will breed way more competence and confidence out of you and self-discovery than being in the crowd ever will. I was thinking about this, of how when you're in a group or when you're a part of groupthink, and I think it's important at times to have, community and connection, and, and you can have connections with other individuals that think like you. But I think when you're in a group where the first priority becomes, how do I stay accepted? How do I maintain like everyone's comfortability? How do I not stir the pot too much? Because this survival mechanism in us kicks into, I don't want to get kicked out. I don't want to be separated from the pack. So you start to neglect yourself as an individual just to stay in the pack. And I was thinking about, like, when you think about movies of like high school kids or like whatever dramatic movies where they're conflicted of like, oh, I'm part of the popular crowd now, or oh, I'm with the popular kids, and but then you see like the nerd, and then they're getting bullied, and then you see like the internal conflict of like, oh, do I do the right thing, or do I turn a blind eye to it so I can stay cool, and whatever, all the fucking social bullshit. But this is why I think putting yourself in isolation, putting yourself in times where you're alone, or just taking that time for yourself to really discover, like, who am I as an individual? What goes on in my mind? What do I really believe? Without any noise holding you back. Because when you're in the group, you're going to neglect something you think. You're like, oh, that might sound crazy, or, well, I don't want to get judged, so I'm not going to say it. But then it's like, if you just drop everyone that's not going to accept it, or if you just go out on your own and just like accept being alone and then be like, I'm just going to figure this out for myself, those are the times where you'll find out the most about yourself. And those are the times where you'll really find, God, yourself, your purpose, what you really believe, who you really are. But when you're in the crowd, most of the time all you're thinking is, we're just going to keep it shallow, and we're not going to stir the pot too much because I don't want to become the outcast.